Good evening and welcome to another episode here on Creepy with Coffee. I'm Kim, your storyteller. Well, before we get into tonight's story, let me ask you this. What would you do if a patient claims someone helped them, but no one else in the room? Tonight's story takes place in a place of healing, a hospital. But for those who have walked its dimly lit corridors during the graveyard shift, they know not every spirit there wants to be healed.
This is Creepy with Coffee.
It was the second night in a row that I was scheduled for an on-call duty. As usual, I began my shift at 8 p.m. After praying Maghrib with my wife and kissing my children good night, I locked the gate behind me and headed off to the hospital. Fortunately, the hospital was only a 10-minute drive away from home, enough to spend precious moments with family and still get to work without rushing. Once I arrived, I parked in the staff lot and walked into the main building, checking my phone along the way. The anesthesio WhatsApp group showed no new messages, no new emergencies. I exhaled in quiet relief and headed up to the 5th floor. I changed into my scrubs, the ones provided by the Department of Anesthesiology and Critical Care. Tonight, my station was the Burn Intensive Care Unit, or rather, what used to be. The ward had been closed nearly a decade ago, but when COVID-19 overwhelmed the system, it was reopened to accommodate the surge of patients. Unlike the standard of ICU, this unit had once treated severe burn victims. The setup was slightly different. Metal bedding tubs, customized burn beds, specialized machines. That night, 2 patients were under my care, one a young child and the other non-citizen adult male, both with unstable vitals due to blood infections. After rounds with the attending consultant and nurses, I went to my station to finish up the reports. "Doctor, have you eaten yet?" one of the nurses, Kak Yan, asked as she organized patient files in the corner. "Not yet, Kak. Just wrapping things up," I replied. "Well, Kak Sah and I will be in the pantry. Let us know if anything comes up." I nodded, watching them head to the pantry at the far end of the hall. I typed away, the silence settling comfortably around me. Time flew by, and before I knew it, it was already 12:45 a.m. I stretched, rubbed my eyes, and decided to pray Isha before taking a short break. After praying, I thought to myself, I think I should eat before I rest. Might not get another chance later. But just as I was about to enjoy a home-cooked meal that my wife had packed, I heard it. A voice, sharp, alarm. "Hey, don't stand up! Lie down right now! Where do you think you're going?" It was Kak Yan's voice, yelling from the burn ICU. I rushed to the doorway and found her restraining the non-citizen patient. He had torn off his IV lines and monitors and was trying to stand on the bed. "Wait, wasn't he restrained?" I asked. "We tied him earlier, didn't we?" "Exactly," she replied, catching her breath. But somehow the straps were undone. For context, burn patients, especially those on sedatives, are often lightly restrained to prevent them from harming themselves and accidentally removing life support lines. Before I could speak again, the patient muttered softly, "I called out for help, but no one came. I was so thirsty. I just wanted a cup of water. Luckily, the lady in black helped untie me." I turned to him slowly. "The lady in black?" He nodded. "Yes, She was standing by the wall. She came and untied me. I looked at Kak Yan. Kak Yan looked at me. We exchanged glances. There was no one else here. Kak Sa and I were both in the pantry until we heard the alarm, she said, now visibly disturbed. I checked his IV setup again, trying to mask my rising dread. Then, almost whispering, the patient said something that froze my blood. Doctor, there are too many corpses in this room. Too many dead people. Please, doctor, please, move me to another one. I didn't answer. I just walked out, fast. I didn't even look back. The burn ICU had always felt different, colder, heavier. But I'd brushed it off before, thinking it was just a weight of memory. After all, plenty of people had died there before. But now, I wasn't so sure. Just when I reached the nurse station, a cry pierced through the corridor. Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! It was coming from room number 3, the same room I had been earlier on. I spun around and quickly rushed to the room, wanting to know what had happened. But when I reached the room, the patient, or the only one that could have shouted that earlier on, was lying peacefully, resting on his bed. We are not sure what or who untied those restraints. We are not sure either who shouted the Allahu Akbar the moment I left the room. But somehow, something telling me that it wasn't human. And I believe so because no one enters the room after midnight. At least, not alone. Well, let me ask you this. If you were the doctor, you went in, you found out that your patients were untied, but there was no one that tied him, what would you do next? Leave it down below in the comments. I read every single one of your comment. If you have yet to do so, please help me like the channel and give it a thumbs up. Once again, thank you very much. This is Kim, your storyteller, creepy with coffee, and stay safe and stay away, because sometimes it's not the patients who haunt the hospital, it's the hospital that haunts the living.